Hey guys, so for this video, I'm going to show off 12 advanced tips and tricks that will always work against your opponents. Before you say anything, no, I am not clickbaiting you. These tricks are seriously that good. All of them are new in Chapter 2 Season 4, and all of them I learned from top tier pro players. They include broken phasing tricks, overpowered box fighting techniques, and even some insanely useful ways to rotate in scrims. As per the format, I've said it like 500 times already. I'll show what the trick is, how to do it, why it works, as well as an in-game example from the pro player I learned it from. Anyways, with all of that being said, let's get right on into these techniques. Up first are 2 insane strategies to get inside your opponent's box with the new Season 4 Mythic Abilities. Alright, so for this trick, you're gonna need Dr. Doom's Mystical Bomb. It's this one where when you charge it up, you have this giant bomb that destroys everything and lights stuff on fire. This ability does 300 damage to structures, meaning it destroys almost everything except metal. As you can see, the metal survived with 200 HP. Why this is useful though is that you can charge it up, break straight into your opponent's box, and you only take 1 damage. That was a little more since I caught on fire. Here it is again with brick, and as you can see, I'm only going to take 1 damage and break straight through it. So this is what it looks like from your opponent's POV. They'll be inside their box, hear you charging it up, and no matter what they do, you will get inside of it and only take 1 damage. Then the other mythic ability that is pretty similar uses the Silver Surfer ability like this. All you have to do is walk straight in front of the wall, make sure you're hugging it like the crash pad trick, and then just use the Silver Surfer ability and you'll go straight through their fully built metal for a nice shot. I don't know what he's doing. Again, from your opponent's POV, they'll be inside, trying to defend against you, but there's nothing that stops you. Here's MrSavage beautifully using the Silver Surfer trick. Next up is a 200 IQ way to use portaforts, which yes, if you did not know, are back in the game. Like I was saying, all you need for this is a portafort. The trick is to aim the portafort at your opponent's 1x1. They'll be inside holding their wall, and as you can see, it's gonna build around me and take their wall, which I can edit, place a ramp in, edit it back, mongrel classic, easy kill. What you'll notice if I try to do it at full speed is that you kind of have these annoying tires in the way, which might bounce you up. So what you can do instead is turn to your right, throw it the same way, and this time you actually have room to work with. You could even turn around and do it, that way you already have this edit made. There are a lot of different options you have. This is what it looks like from your opponent's perspective. No matter how long and hard I try to hold my wall, I lose it every time, no matter what. It is a broken strat. Last thing I wanted to say is that you can pretty much use this strat from anywhere. I saw one guy throw it at a 2x1 like this, run inside of it, and then because the ramp replaced the guy's cone and floor, he just edited down on the dude and killed him. I've also seen people do this from the top of a 1x1. The possibilities are pretty much endless. Check out Reddit user Jojo Awesome using this technique from the top of a 1x1 to kill his opponent on the bottom. Fourth on my list is the best and really the only counter there is to getting boogie bombed. As I'm sure all of you know by now, boogie bombs are insanely broken. Once you get boogie bombed, you can literally not do anything and any good player will be able to kill you. I guess Kazaki's not a good player. The way to counter getting boogie bombed is to just spam your crash pad button. As you can see, once I get boogie bombed, I can still crash pad by just spamming my space, and I can keep going really far away to get away from my opponent. One more time, all you need to do is just spam space. You cannot shoot as you do it. You cannot do anything because you're technically still boogie bombed. However, you can get away from your opponent, which is extremely important and very helpful because by the time you do all that, you should be out of your boogie bomb and you're able to fight back. Speaking of boogie bombs, trick number 5 is a really simple way to always boogie bomb your opponents. This technique, like I said, is very simple. All it is just baiting out your opponent to make an edit or just to come out of their box. I shoot this way, my opponent thinks I'm fighting someone, he opens up, I boogie bomb him, box him up. I'll shoot this way, my opponent will hear it, he'll come out, boogie bomb him for free, box him up, wait for him to jump, and easy kill. I feel like people forget that you can just box up your opponents. It's almost like little piece control, and they cannot do anything except just jump and accept their fate. So I'm in my box in the middle of a scrim. I hear my opponent shooting. I'm on a third party because that's who I am. And I unfortunately suffer the consequences of it. Shout out to my boy Mr. Milano, who I learned it from with this clip from Rogue Shark. Sixth up is a new crash pad technique that I can almost guarantee none of you have ever seen before. By now, if you guys do not know how to use crash pads to get into boxes, then I honestly don't know what to tell you. You have this one where you stand right in front of a wall, you throw it above you, and it sends you straight into your opponent's box. For a kill. Then there's also this one where you place a cone or ramp on top of your opponent's box. You aim your crash pad towards the bottom of the structure, jump up, and that will send you straight into their box the same exact way. The new crash pad technique is when your opponent is above you like this. You can see he's right there. All you have to do is place a ramp next to where your opponent's floor is. See how they're aligned? Then aim your crash pad at that ramp and it will break your opponent down for an easy shot, as well as a finish, clean up an easy kill. And the best part is that you don't actually have to force yourself into their box. You're bringing your opponent to you. This technique also works if your opponent is in fully built metal. I know that's not fully built, but the floor is. Build a ramp to the side, aim it right here. Boom, they come down and you can get a kill. All your opponent will be thinking about is the fact that they're safe, that there's no crash pad techniques that they have to worry about since you're below them. When out of nowhere, boom, they are dead. Here's my second favorite pro player to roast, BBG on Calc, perfectly putting this move to use. More than halfway through, we have another phasing trick, this time with a bouncer. The way this trick works is that you have your opponent in a box in front of you. I can see Mr. Kazaki right there. You're trying to get into his box, but nothing is working, so you need to pull out a phasing trick. The thing is, you don't want to just put a ramp over your head because he's going to expect that. He sees it coming, and then it's out. What you can do instead is get the wall really low, one shot, place a bouncer behind you, walk into it, and break it as you go into the bouncer. You'll go straight through his wall and kill him like I just did. The hardest part about this is the timing, because if you go too late, you are not going to be able to go through. You want to break the wall pretty much as you hit the bouncer. That way you go through even as they hold it. This is what your opponent is going to see. I got the 0 ping. He knows he cannot take it. Oh my gosh. I have 0 ping and he still gets through it. If that's not broken, then I don't know what else is. Shout out to FaZe Martoz for the clip and Crofty for the strat. Tricks 7 through 9 are the best and most efficient ways to rotate in Chapter 2 Season 4. The first of the 3 rotation tricks I'm going to show involves shockwaves, which I have right here, as well as bouncers, which are probably the best rotation item you have, outside of shockwaves of course. What you want to do is box up, just like you would be in an end game or a mid game of a scrim or tournament. You then want to get inside of a cone. I know it's weird, but just do it. After that, you want to place a bouncer, and while the bouncer is going, you want to place a shockwave, and it will send you incredibly far. How long was that? 100 meters. Oh my gosh. Be aware the bouncer will get destroyed if you do not do the shockwave right away. You can see after about 3 or 4 seconds, it goes away. All that means is you gotta be quick with the shockwave. I was not quick enough that time. So say I'm in FNCS, I gotta rotate, get in a cone, place it, throw my shockwave, and I am gone all the way to the half and half zone without a launch pad. And speaking of reasonable rotations, this one is pretty much the same exact thing, except this time, you're pulling out the crash pads. Everyone loved these last season because all you had to do was edit a cone like this, throw the crash pad, and you would go pretty darn far. That's about a 37 meter rotation. Pretty solid, especially for solo endgames. However, with launch pads out, we need something much better to make us go much farther. So the big difference this time is that you want to edit the floor like this, and then you want to edit the cone in whichever direction you want to go. That would be straight, this would be diagonally to the right, this would be diagonally to the left. And again, what you do is get inside the cone like a weirdo. I'm gonna place down the bouncer, throw the crash pad, and that is gonna send me really far. 53 meters, much better than the normal crash pad one. Just please do not forget to edit these up, because if you do not, you're just gonna go nowhere, and everyone will spray at you and kill you, and you'll curse me out wondering why you died. Well, it was because you did not listen to me. The third and final rotation trick is yet another one with my boy the shockwaves. For this one, I guess you should be in a box. This one you could use a 2x1 because you need a ramp. I did not have bouncers and I need them. Anyways, with the ramp that you placed inside your 2x1, put a bouncer on it, and what you're going to do with the shockwave is throw it right as soon as you bounce off of it. So I'm gonna aim it around here, the bottom of the ramp. That way when I come off of it, I get this crazy far rotation. 81 meters. This one is awesome because you can do it with numerous people. Say you're in a trio like Chap did. Just get all 3 people, throw it, that way you bounce off, and all of you can rotate. Solid 86 meters as a trio. That is crazy considering there's no launch pads. And yes, this does work with a wall. I just did it with a ramp because it's a little easier. 115 meters. That's because I was high up. Still pretty insane. Check out this clip from Martoz as he shows how versatile these bouncer rotations truly are. As I'm sure all of you know by now, mainly because I've made like 3 videos on this tactic, you can actually explode fishing holes with the boat missile. I missed. And that will give you 3 items of loot. I got 2 snipers, a flopper. However, there are a few other things you can use it with that do not just include boat missiles. This trick also works with Dr. Doom's arcane gauntlets. I just gotta aim it at the fishing hole, and boom, I get 3 items of loot. You'll probably end up with no fishing holes because you just destroyed them all. Well, what about if you do not have the arcane gauntlet, if you do not have a boat? What you can do is throw a crash pad at the fishing hole, and that will explode it. Even in the storm, it works. So if you guys do not have a boat and you want to utilize this broken strategy, just get Dr. Doom's arcane gauntlet or a crash pad because both of them work just like a boat missile. Second to last technique is a reminder of the shockwave trick that I showed last season. What you do is you set up 2 tiles away from your opponent's box. That's the one we're going to phase into. Build a wall in front of you, take out your shockwave grenade, and aim it for the center of the wall, and that will send you perfectly into their box for a nice and easy kill. No matter what your opponent does, they can hold the wall on 0 ping like I am. You are going to get straight into their box. Here's the proof. Before I forget, you can also do this from the top to replace their cone and floor. You just have to build 3 tiles away, not 2, place a wall at the end, and set up in between the 3rd and 2nd floor tile. Once you aim the shockwave at the middle of the wall, it will send you right over their box, which you can replace with your own cone and floor, edit it open, I fell down, and get a nice kill. This method is a lot safer, but it requires a lot more time and strategy. Final trick is arguably the most 300 IQ strat ever that I learned from the most handsome gamer in the world, Liquid 72 Hours. I showed this in my mouse review video that I did on the Final Mouse Ultralight 2, but I feel like not enough people saw it. Basically what the trick is that if you hold out your cone, I can place my cone anywhere, and then I place it over one of my opponent's cones, I can actually figure out which cone they are hiding under. It's this one because there is a lock on it. If I go to any other one, there's like an arrow with a little circle, while this one, which I know he's hiding in, has a lock sign. That lock sign just means that they're holding the edit. This is the best way to find out which cone your opponent is hiding under. Just take out your cone and look for the lock sign. There he is. Look at the little guy in there. Here is NRG Benjyfishy using it to pick up a free kill. Overall guys, those are 12 advanced tips and tricks for Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 4. All of them I learned from pros, so credit goes to them. These are some of the best and most useful techniques and strategies you can find. Let me know down below which was your favorite, as well as any I left out. On top of that, if you enjoyed the video, do be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel somewhere down here, and to turn on my post notifications. Shout out to everyone on the screen for using code JERIAN. I appreciate all of you so much. For the last time, I swear I will not say it anymore. It is code JERIAN, not code itsJerian. Use code JERIAN. Otherwise, that's it from me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later!